how to lose fat while sitting all day. Sean here from Fit Fusion Brotherhood. I own a gym for 10 years. I've coached thousands of clients, and there's a lot of guys out there that really want to prioritize their health and fitness, but they have an office job or they're just sitting down all day, and really makes it difficult to get to that next level. The good news is there are plenty of guys that are in the exact same situation that have absolutely succeeded. So what I'm going to talk about today is why this is so challenging, but what you can actually do about it to make sure you still can prioritize your health and fitness goals and crush your fat loss goals as well. Okay, so first let's break it down. When it comes to fat loss with regards to movement and eating, we really have like a quadrant here, and there's two of them that will work. Two of them will not work. So let's go through each of them one by one. First one is eat more, exercise less. This is what a lot of Canadians, Americans, and Europeans now pretty much everywhere do, and this is why we have such an obesity epidemic. We're not moving a lot, but we're eating a lot, meaning this is not going to work for your fat loss goals. So if you're moving less, you obviously don't want to eat more, and this is where a lot of guys who are at an office job are really struggling with. There's also eat less, exercise more. This seems like a great idea at first, but the problem is it burns you out. It's already systemically fatiguing enough to be in a calorie deficit, but if you're also crushing your workouts really hard and not eating enough, you're going to burn out. You might succeed short term, but long term it's going to be disastrous. So this one also does not work. Now let's talk about the two that do work, and we'll try to figure out which one you think you should be at. The next one is eat more, exercise more. This is the ideal part of the quadrant that you want to be in. This is why athletes are able to eat so much food and get away with it. It's because they're moving so much, and they use that food as fuel. Now, unfortunately, for those of you who have an office job or you're sitting down a lot, you're probably not going to fit in this side of the quadrant. And that's just because you're not able to move as much. So we're talking about people who are exercising regularly, but most importantly, people who are moving all the time. A lot of blue-collar workers, a lot of athletes. This would be the ideal quadrant to be in, but unfortunately, this probably isn't you. Okay, so let's talk about the last one, which is you, and that probably works best for you, and that has worked really well for a lot of my clients. And that is eat less, exercise less. And when I say exercise less, I'm not saying you're intentionally trying to do that. I'm saying you have to acknowledge the limitations of your lifestyle and realize that you're not going to be moving around as much as someone who has a blue-collar job. So what's the factor here? How can you succeed with your weight loss and fat loss goals? You got to eat less. Okay, so that means nutrition is the linchpin. That's the bottleneck. That's the part that you really have to prioritize here. Because a lot of guys will say that they can't eat like they did when they were younger, and they blame it on their metabolism. But it's not your metabolism. It's because you're moving a lot less now than when you were younger. Okay, so you have to really prioritize your food. Nutrition is going to be absolutely crucial if you have an office job or if you're sitting down all day. It's the most important thing, okay? So you have to have your nutrition dialed in a lot more than someone who's super active, because someone who's super active can burn hundreds of extra calories per day. That gives them a much bigger margin for error when it comes to their nutrition, okay? So if that's not you, dial in the nutrition. Also, something that's non-negotiable if you're sitting down all day is strength training, lifting weights. I would say this for everybody, but especially if you're sitting down all day, super important to make sure you're prioritizing your muscle. It's not going to help a ton when it comes to fat loss, but it's going to help with your health, your longevity, and of course, your physique. And when it comes to the type of workouts that you should be doing, any sort of strength training is good, but if you really want to focus on what limits a lot of people who are sitting down all day, usually they have really weak glutes, because they kind of shut off when you're sitting down all day. And usually they're really tight in the chest and shoulders and weak in the back. This kind of pulls you into that rounded shoulder position. So doing a lot of back exercises, a lot of pulling and stretching out the shoulders as well, and the chest. But in general, full body, make sure your strength training, it should be non-negotiable. And then what you can do on top of that, so you have your workouts in, you're starting to really dial in your nutrition, that is going to be enough for you to really crush it. But if you want a little bit of bonus and you want to increase some of that movement, whether it's for your mental health or just to burn some additional calories, try to track your steps. You're probably a lot lower than you think, unfortunately, but there are some things that you can do to make your life a little bit easier. Number one, you can just do like a quick walk after every meal. Number two, if you're able to do like business calls, go for a walk while you're talking on the phone. You can kind of kill two birds with one stone there. And then just doing like little things like parking far away, so you have to go for a longer walk, or Anything that gets you moving, pacing throughout the day, understanding that these things may not seem like a big deal, but they really start to add up. Okay, so if you're sitting down all day, if you have an office job, it does make fat loss a lot more difficult. But if you understand what you can do to actually overcome that, it's very possible. I know a lot of guys that have absolutely crushed it. The main thing here, guys, if this is you, is to really focus on your nutrition. I know it's not the sexiest answer in the world, but the good news is if you're able to do that, you can get in much better shape than someone who's super active but not focusing on their nutrition. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy videos like this, do us a huge favor, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.